welcome to Estate Edu with Artibari. On this video, we're going to be talking about an important topic, which is the factors that affect property's value. Let's welcome our lecturer, the person of ESV, Artibari Dan. You're welcome, sir.
Thank you, Sabio Aisha. In this video, we'll be talking about factors that affect value. Previously, we have spoken about value as relates to properties, and we have said that there are so many types of values. But for real estate properties, we have values that are attached to them, and these values are derived through what we call valuation. So, before we delve into the various types of value, it's important that we understand that any property at all is affected directly, indirectly, positively, or negatively by so many factors, including but not limited to physical factors, environmental factors, and economic factors. I'll be explaining these few factors in this episode, and we'll continue after this in some other subsequent videos. Talking about physical factors, we'll be looking at the physical attributes that affect properties, and this include the location of a property. Properties that locate in a serene environment, properties that locate in obscured areas, properties that locate in places that are inaccessible have values that are not the same with those that are located at good locations, accessible places, and road network. So, location of a property affects its value. The next thing about location, physical condition of the physical factor, has to do with the size of the property. Properties whose sizes are large tend to command values higher than those that are very small in sizes. So also land properties that are smaller tends to command little value, smaller values than those that have larger uh, areas. And so that is how size of property, physical attributes affect the value. We also talk about topography as a physical factor that affect value. Topography has to do with the terrain where the property is situated. Properties are situated within serene area, within level areas, rather than floodplains, waterlogged areas, swampy places, rocky places, valleys, and on the hills tend to have different types of values attached to them. Also, we talk about the building design, the design of a building, and then the materials used in constructing these buildings tend to have effects on the values. Properties that are well designed and aesthetically beautiful and have quality materials used in building and finishing them tends to command higher values than those that are built of materials that are not up to standard, materials that are poor, not good enough for building. Then we also talk about condition of the property. This condition has to do with the physical condition of the property, whether the property is old, whether it is obsolete, whether it's well maintained, whether it commands the aesthetics, whether there is an improvement in its physical appearance. All this put together as location, size, topography, building design and construction finishes, as well as the condition of the property, form the physical factor that affect the value of the property.
Okay, sir, thank you. Let me quickly ask this question before you go further. You've talked so far about location, size, construction materials used, as well as design. Okay, if a prototype building, for example, let's say 4 bedroom duplex, is situated at a high density area, properly sized or sizable, then good construction material used, and if another type is situated in a low density area with poor construction details. How do you rate this?
All right, thank you for that question. Yeah, this has to do with comparative analysis of properties located, similar properties located in different areas. One is in highbrow area, while the other is in high density area. High density areas, these places like downtown uh, areas where you have a lot of population density so high. So now, what somebody will consider the effect of this construction in these areas will be that people will prefer the highbrow area because of their prestige. So they don't mind the space provided as well as the poor condition of the finishes. But because of the prestige the location confers, it will normally increase the value compared to this beautiful, well constructed property that located at the higher density area. So these two other factors we need to come in. Prestige um, comes in. Uh, so that may be the difference as they can affect the value location wise. And the second factor that affect value, like I said earlier, is the environmental factor. And this environmental factor has to do with the natural and neighborhood conditions as they affect the property's appeal, as they affect the value of the property. And when you have environmental quality that is clean, that is quiet, serene, and is safe, it tends that's kind of property with such environmental serenity commands higher value than those that are in chaotic areas, areas that are prone to noise, pollutions, flooding, and poor drainage systems. Those properties tend to command lower value than those that are in better located areas as well. And of course, we talk about neighborhood status, and neighborhood prestige. A neighborhood that is well organized, a neighborhood that is well serviced with requisite amenities and facilities such as road network, structures, security is well organized, um, amenities are well provided, like water, electricity provided. All those facilities and amenities confer some degree of neighborhood that is serene, constitute neighborhood that is well organized, and therefore properties within such neighborhoods tend to command higher value than those that are outside and does not command such facilities and amenities within them. Next factor that we're discussing has to do with the economic factor. Economic factor, these are financial and market driven influences that affect values. Number one, we have the demand and supply factors, where naturally the demand is high, and when it exceeds the supply, property values tend to rise. And then when you have rental income, people that are earning uh, properties with high and stable rental income tends to have higher rental value, higher values than those that have vagaries income. Talk also about inflation and interest rates. High inflation and high interest rates can discourage borrowing, can cause reduction in property, the marketing stock of the property in the market. Because what we need to spend to bring out the market, property stock into the market will be so much that it can be discouraged. And therefore, when there is short supply of properties into the market, there tends to be um, an influence on the value, really. And then the standard of living and employment concentrations. Those with high number of population with economic stability tends to look for more properties, enhanced standard of living, looking for properties that befit their status, and therefore areas with high employment and income support tends to command higher the values than areas where you don't have so much of people with economic empowerment, employment empowerment, and so on and so forth. And then generally, economic climate, where there is economic boom in a particular place, you understand that the value of property in such areas will be high. On the other hand, when you have a place where economic climate is downturn, where there is an erosion of economic empowerment, property values in such areas tend to be low as compared. So all said, these factors, physical, environment, and economic, are factors that affect value in their various ways.
All right, sir. Thank you very much. There have been some properties around our neighborhood that have been constructed and put into the market for quite a number of years. Let's say minimum of 5 years, for example. And it's not like it's not operational. I noticed that the rents on those properties are higher and nobody is taking them. Could it be as a result of one of these factors you've explained so far, or could it be what's your professional take on it?
All right, thank you for that question. That kind of situation that you have painted, there might be so many factors that could be responsible for this market, this property being in the market for this long. We call it void situation. Property being in the market, it's not being rented, it's not being operated. There may be so many reasons responsible for that. Number one may be the location. When the location is poor for the kind of business that that place may attract, it will definitely be unoccupied. People may not subscribe to having it used for their business operations. Secondly, it may be a government policy factor that may have affected the location of that property one way or the other. I will explain that in the next video. Government policy as it affects the value of property. And so, if that place does not conform with the regulations, people might not just go there to transact their businesses. And so we are looking at the economic factor also. When a rent that is passed or that is expected on such property is so high that does not meet the market trend, it may just be there until because there's a situation where the property investor will want to say, oh, this is how much I need on the property. And if that rent he needs on the property is not sustainable in the market, then the property will remain void as long as it does not meet the market requirements and need.
All right, sir. Thank you very much. We appreciate your time like always. Well, there you have it once again. Factors that affect the value of a property. When you're ready to go into property investment, do not hesitate to consult the professionals in the field. Estate surveyors and valuers are there to render their services to you. Feasibility and viability appraiser is a key in property investment. Please do consult professionals. However, every property have a story and the value of the property tells that story. Thank you for watching. As always, do subscribe to this channel if you've not done that already. Leave all your comments in the comment section. We will attend to them. If you have any question or clarity, do type it in and we'll respond to you. Do turn on your notification button so you'll be notified each time we drop our videos, and share these videos. Share them to estate management students around you and professionals. Stay tuned.